buckling in. Okay, so quick chat. Why did I choose personally to buy the iPhone XS Max? Everybody has their own thoughts on what they want to do. This is just money aside. And it's just personally the reason why I chose to go for the iPhone XS Max. I'll go over just the very simple reasons why I decided to go for the iPhone XS Max. I'm upgrading from my iPhone 7 Plus, and I loved my iPhone 7 Plus to death. Loved it. I really enjoyed the big screen. That for me was a huge thing. Having a big screen for me was important. Last year they came out with the iPhone 10, and you're like, oh Melanie, it's the same size as your iPhone 7 Plus, but a smaller frame. It just wasn't that kind of jump that I was looking to make. So when I saw all the rumors coming out about the iPhone XS Max and that it was going to be an extra large screen, yeah, I call this an extra large screen, that's when I said, okay, I'm going to pay very close attention to what happens this year to see if I'm going to buy the iPhone XS. So apart from the fact that I really wanted a big screen, I also wanted to know the nitty-gritty details. And I went to the apple.com site, and you know, A11 and A12 and A50,000, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And I was like, okay, let me get the nitty-gritty about this. So I'm going to take out this site. It's gsmarena.com, and this is where I just chose to get my information from. It seemed pretty accurate. If there is something else that you know about that is a lot more accurate, has a lot more specs, I would love to see that. But for somebody else who doesn't really want to dive into it, I can give you just the very basic, simple things about the iPhone 7 Plus and the jump to the iPhone XS Max. In my opinion, if you have an Apple iPhone 8 or Apple iPhone 10, then there really isn't any reason to upgrade. Try next year. So Apple iPhone 7 Plus had 3 gigabytes of RAM and a 5.5-inch screen. The 3 gigabytes of RAM I really locked into. So Melanie, why didn't you get the iPhone 10? Well, the iPhone 10 was the same amount of gigabytes of RAM, different screens and stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough for me to make that jump. The main camera of my iPhone 7 Plus had a pretty decent camera. And really the reason why I was so stuck with my iPhone 7 Plus, other than I just loved the way that it felt in my hand, is that I had a lot of moment lenses that were attached to it with the little plate before it went to the cases. So I was like, oh, this is where I love making my photos. I'm very familiar with it, and I just wasn't ready to make that jump. But when I saw everything about the iPhone XS Max and the differences that it could make on the phone for taking pictures and videography, that's just when I knew it was a change for me. So I have right here on my screen, just very simple, focus on the main camera and the selfie camera part. Those were the parts that I was focusing on. iPhone XS Max, 4 gigabytes of RAM. And I have right here on the screen the main camera stats, but those are pretty much the reasons, just very high level, very simple, the reasons why I decided to upgrade from the iPhone 7 Plus to the iPhone XS Max. Just my opinion, if you have an iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 7, anything that goes back, upgrading to the XS and XS Max, whichever one you decide, is going to be an upgrade. If you have an iPhone 8, the iPhone 10, upgrading may not necessarily be something that I would do if I had those phones this go around. But I'm pretty impressed with the iPhone XS Max, so just really curious about how everybody uses their phone. So for me, I mainly use the phone for taking pictures. I love taking my pictures. I love editing my pictures on my phone, which is the reason why I think I absolutely fell in love with having a big screen. And I like taking videos. I love taking videos. I watch YouTube on my phone, so that's nice having a big screen. I'm also on social media, and then I'm also on my phone for work, and so it's nice having this big screen. I also attach a Bluetooth keyboard to this big screen. It basically feels like I'm taking around either a mini iPad, and I mean, come on, face it, we all know we're taking around mini computers. Those are the reasons why I chose to buy the iPhone XS Max. So if you have interests similar to mine, and you have an older phone, you have an iPhone 7 Plus or older phone, and consider purchasing the iPhone XS Max. Until next time.